This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Squarespace, Kindle Fire, Apple and Woz, and Dream Cars. John Rettinger's away, I'm Noah Kravitz, and this is Ask the Buffalo. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm Noah Kravitz, editor-at-large for Techno Buffalo. Welcome to another edition of Ask the Buffalo. I'm filling in for John Rettinger this week, which is my pleasure. It's a fun show to do. He will be back, so don't worry. He reads your questions. He wants to answer them. And somebody asked, how do you get your hair so perfect? I'm obviously not equipped to answer that question. I don't have to do anything. I just look naturally this good. Anyway, let's get to the questions. You can submit questions to Ask the Buffalo via our website or via Twitter. On Twitter, use the hashtag AskTheB, AskTheb. And on the website, every week we put out a call for questions. So just go over to technobuffalo.com. Just read everything, because it's worth it. It's great tech news and reviews. And eventually you'll find the post that's Ask the Buffalo, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I came here for. So there you go. All right, let's get right to it. The first question comes from Hitsvara51. He or she wants to know, do you think the Kindle Fire will be a serious contender in the tablet market? Yes, absolutely. But it's going to be different. The thing that Amazon is doing, which is so smart, and speaks to the ways that the other tablet makers, not named Apple, have so far failed to capture market share, is they're playing to their own strengths. They're not trying to outdo Apple. Apple got the prime mover advantage. They had the infrastructure with the iTunes Store, the apps, the success of the iPad, and their ability to make very intuitive, easy to use software for touchscreens. And they took that, and the story goes originally they wanted to release a tablet way back when, but different things, the availability of large touchscreen panels that were high quality, other stuff in the market, they decided, you know what, let's go with the smartphone first. And so they released the iPhone. Several years later, iPad came out. Now they command something like 95% plus of the market. So while you've got Samsung and Asus and HTC and all these other companies trying to outdo the iPad on the iPad's terms, Amazon's coming in and saying, no, you know what, we're going to do it a different way. We're going to release a very low-cost tablet that's all about media and services that we already offer. So it's a shopping machine, it's a video machine, it's a book reading machine, it's a music playing machine. It's been, there have been reports that Amazon's losing money on each Kindle Fire they sell. There have been reports that they're making a little bit of money. Either way, really what it is, it's a hook to get you into the Amazon ecosystem, because this thing's going to make it super easy for you to get everything through Amazon, especially if it comes with a trial Prime account. Prime is addictive to me like candy is to John Rettinger. Once you have Prime, you just think to yourself, oh, well, why buy it anywhere else? Amazon probably has it, and I get free 2-day shipping anyway. So, the Kindle Fire, an interesting device on its own right. It looks like the software is really well done, ties into all the services that lots of people want, web, it's got an app store, music, video, books, magazines, newspapers, all that stuff. But then it also serves as a front end for what really is one of the largest shopping malls in the world in Amazon.com. So yes, I think it will be a big contender, a big success, definitely a contender, but a little bit different than what we think of right now as a contender in the tablet market. Matthew Jackson, what do you think if Steve Wozniak returned to Apple as a new spokesman? What's the likelihood of this happening? Not going to happen. Woz has taken a different path. Kathy Lee Gifford, Dancing with the Stars. Gifford, is that her name? Kathy Lee, what I'm talking about. Dancing with the Stars, all that stuff. Woz is just kind of on his own trajectory. When you lose, when a landmark event happens in a person's life, you lose a dear friend, family member, something like that. Sometimes people, their lives suddenly take a different direction. It's like they have a revelation or something happens and they decide to, scrap the course they're on and go somewhere else. So I suppose that could happen with Woz. But I don't personally see Steve Wozniak coming back into the Apple fold in an official manner. I think, I think he's doing his thing. He's more of the affable guy who likes to play with tech and do lots of different stuff, and not kind of the hardcore businessman and visionary that Steve Jobs evolved into in his time with Apple and away from Apple and back with Apple. So I don't think it'll happen. I think, having Woz around in the capacity that he's in, sort of an unofficial ambassador for Apple, has been good. And, you never know. Never say never. But I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. Squarespace makes it super easy to get a high-quality blog, portfolio, or other kind of website up and running with pretty much no muss, no fuss. Squarespace is a fully hosted platform. That means there's nothing for you to install, no code for you to figure out how to write, or in my case, how to break. The upgrades to your system are instant, they're stable, everything's taken care of for you. They have point and click tools that make it easy to select from templates or tweak things around to wind up with a fully professional looking and functioning website. They also offer 24-hour support, all kinds of other goodies. And right now, if you check out squarespace.com, you can get a 2-week free trial and 10% off. Just go to squarespace.com, sign up for a new account, and use the code TECHNO10. That's TECHNO 10. 10. I feel like I'm on So You Think You Can Dance. Vote for number 2. Danny Mao has a question via technobuffalo.com, and I stole this one away. You probably want to know what John's dream car is. Maybe he can answer it as well in a future episode. But this one caught my interest because I've become kind of a big car geek in my fantasy life, not my real life. So I will answer the question. Danny wants to know, what kind of car do you drive? And what kind of car would you drive if you could have any car in the world, assuming that you had to pay the insurances and the taxes and that sort of stuff? Good question. I like these questions where it's not just like Fantasyland, but there's a little bit of reality grounded to it. Like, you can have any car you want, but you got to pay for upkeep and all that kind of stuff. So currently, I'm in a 2-car household. We have a 2009 Toyota Prius hybrid. That was actually the first car that I ever bought, or I had a hand in buying. All the other cars I've ever driven have been either there's one hand-me-down and the others were like my family, my parents' car. They let me drive, that kind of stuff. So we have the Prius, and then we have a 1995 Mercedes-Benz C280, which was a hand-me-down. So we've got, hybrid, future tech, the whole thing, and then an older German car that's got like 140,000 miles on it and is still a blast to drive. If I could have any car in the world to drive, a dream car, well, I have 2 answers for you. One is I'm still enamored of the Tesla Model S. I've never driven it, never even been in one. They wouldn't let me go in it, just from the outside at CES. But I think that car looks great. I'm a big fan of the Maserati Quattroporte, just the design of it. And the S, has similar lines to it with the fastback styling. The hatchback adds a little bit of practicality. It seats, they say you can seat 7, 5 adults, and then 2 kids in the back facing backwards. I don't know if I had 2 kids. I don't know if I'd trust that. But, offers a little bit of practicality. And then the performance package goes 0 to 60 in like 4.5 seconds, and that's pure electric. So assuming that thing drives like they're advertising, when it finally comes out, I think that would be the dream car because it's a combination of practicality, functionality, eco-friendliness, future tech, and sexy lines. That being said, right now, cars that are on the market, I would go with a BMW diesel. I would want a wagon imported from Europe because they don't sell that many diesels here in the States. Based on what they sell in the States, I would get a 335D sedan. Because again, you don't have as much practicality. That's why I want the wagon, haul stuff around. I'm a drummer, and you just have more flexibility and that kind of stuff. But those 3 Series cars handle great. They're fun to drive. And the diesel, makes it the most fuel-efficient car in the North American lineup, the 335D. But you have a ton of torque. So even though you might not be able to take an M3 off the line, once you're up to speed and you're driving sort of normally on the freeway, you can pass anybody, that kind of thing. It's probably too much car for me to handle. I'm not that great of a driver, but I think that's what I would go with. The Model S, when they ship, or for now, I'd want to import a diesel BMW wagon, or I'd take the 335D. There you go. There's the answer. John, I know John has said he's whispered some sweet nothings into an Aston Martin's ear once or twice in his life. So we'll have to get him to answer that question. All right, there we go. It's Ask the Buffalo again. Noah Kravitz sitting in for John Rettinger this week. He will be back next week to take your questions, but I had a blast doing it. I'll have to see if he'll let me come back and do it again. Thanks again to the folks at Squarespace for sponsoring this week's edition of Ask the Buffalo. And don't forget, Techno Buffalo is on revision 3 times a week. Ask the Buffalo, What's the Apps, and Rumor Roundup Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Till next time, my name's Noah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. That's TECHO.